Welcome back, everybody. It's been a little bit since I talked to y'all and wanted to show you something kind of cool today since it looks like a lot of people have got some extra time on their hands. Uh, so I thought, well, let's just show you something new and cool that you can do for free. Well, part of it, anyways. What you're seeing here is a scan I did earlier today using my cell phone, my smartphone. Okay, and it's from a free app called Display.Land. And I'm going to show you how to take a scan and run it into Zbrush and create a cool model. Yeah, it's not the best model in the world, but it's pretty cool that I could do this with a 2 to 3 year old smartphone with just a single lens. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So first, let's head over to where you get the app. Okay, it's available for Android or iOS, so there's no problem there. So everybody should be able to use this, unless you got an old flip phone. Well, I'm sorry for you. But you just download it from either one of the stores there. And now I'm going to show you what I did. I'm going to show you quickly how I went about doing that. I'm going to show you a demonstration of doing the wood stump as well as like the side of my house. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so the one on the left is going to be for the wood stump, and basically once after you do your initial setup there, you just hit capture or hit the plus button, and you can start capturing. And as you can see, it's starting to create a point cloud data, and it's basically it's photogrammetry, except it kind of uses a video, but I'm guessing it's just capturing portions of the video. But on the fly, you're starting to see point cloud data with a single lens on a camera, which is really cool. This is what I've wanted forever. So it's not, it's still kind of in its early stages, but man, what it could do already is just impressive. Now, if you look over here on the house one here, I'm slowly but surely scanning that, and if you click this little button down here, which I'll do here in a second, it'll switch over to the point cloud data. See? And anywhere where it's black, it hasn't found any points to match up. So you're not going to get the best result right there. So you want to go over and scan it a little bit better. And you can see how it's oriented to the world. But you can see how it's starting to populate as I go across the ground. Even captured a bit of my car. The things you want to watch out for is metallic and reflective surfaces. So like the windows, the car, it's going to have a tough time with. Even the shiny air conditioner out my window there, it had a tough time with. And then the shiny bucket, the shiny smooth bucket, you'll see at the end of this that it struggled with it. So whenever you're done capturing it, you have to get to at least that minimum mark, and it'll let you know. And then what you do is you create a name. You can skip the location if you want, and then upload it later. And which is what I did. I uploaded it later, and then we'll see. Here's the results on the right of the house, straight out of the app. And I mean, yeah, it's a little rough. I could have spent a little more time on it. There was some issues with the lighting and stuff like that. I'm not sure what happened there, but that was just me fooling around. And as you can see, you can go in and you can crop it. So if you wanted to present it on the app itself, you can do that. You can just crop the area you want to show off and create like a little trailer. You can even add like little objects to it, like grass and flowers and butterflies and a bunch of weird stuff like that. It's kind of neat though. And then every time you open the app up, it will be showing off other people's stuff, and you can go explore and all that. And as you can see over here, this is where I cropped it to here. But the cool thing is, once you publish the file, whether you do it privately or publicly, I just do it publicly most of the time, it gives you the option to download the 3D file. So that's what I'm going to show you now. So we're going to switch off here, and we are going to go into ZBrush, and I'm going to show you what that file looks like. And you'll actually be able to grab the stump file that we're working with here. I'll have that on my Gumroad page, so you can go grab it and follow along. You could do this in ZBrush, you could do it in 3D Max, you could do it in Blender, whatever. But ZBrush is my thing, and so that's what most of you are here for, is learning more about ZBrush. So we're going to go over it in here. So, and as you can see, I'm using my UI here. It's actually just the 2019 UI. I haven't really updated it any. So we'll go ahead and do the polymesh there, and we're going to import. And I'm going to go find that file. And like I said, once you publish it, you could download OBJ file, STL, and then GLF, I think. But I always go for the OBJ. So we're going to open that up. And it's kind of a really weird name, so that's just how they store it on their cloud. And everything's done off-site. It's not done on your phone. You just get the point cloud data and you send it to them, and they make the mesh for you. So there's a little bit of lag in between. So let's take a look at this here. Let's see what we got here. All right. So even if you cropped it inside the app, it sends you everything. So if we zoom in, and if we turn on polyframe, we can see how dense the mesh is. And you can see where a lot of the data went. It went to right where I wanted it to, just onto that little stump there. So I'm going to go ahead, get the select rectangle, Control Shift, and we're just going to hide everybody else and go ahead and delete hidden. And let me zoom in, and I may as well just take out this, because we're just going to get rid of that anyways. All right, delete hidden. And I'm going to use my move real quick. As you can see, you don't see the gizmo, so just Alt, click, reset the rotation, center it, and hit home. And we'll go back there. Go to your deformations real quick and click Unify, because your brushes will not work right. Okay, so now you can see what kind of data we got out of it. So it's not super high res, and you can see where you had a little less data that was calculated. It just kind of filled a hole. You can see where it did some weirdness with the mesh. It's like it split the surface. It does that every once in a while in the testing that I've done with it. It does that, so I'll kind of show you a quick workaround with that. So let's go ahead and get that texture that came along with it. So open up your texture panel, import, and it'll be in the same folder there. And take that texture and flip V. All right, now it's ready to go onto our model. Remember, everything's upside down in ZBrush, so at least your texture coordinates anyways. And there we go. Turn the polyfill off, and then I'm going to change the matte cap and go to a flat color, and there you go. There's your model. So we just need to fix a couple things there. As you could tell, we had these weird protrusions here. There was no white on that stump. It seems like it kind of blended with that that bucket for some reason. So you may want to think about what you're trying to capture and what's around it, because it tends to blend things together. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to switch my material back for now. Change that to anti-Elist, and click off that. And now we are going to try to make this a solid mesh. And I'm going to show you how to get more detail out of this model, because as you can see right now, there's not a ton of detail on here. All right, let's turn that off. Let's start getting him ready here. All right, so what we want to do right now is just using a texture map, but I want to make this poly paint instead. But right now it's not a high enough resolution, so let's go ahead and divide. That should be enough to subdivision 3. We're going to go ahead, delete lower, and then go to poly paint, and then poly paint from texture. Well, I do that every time. MRGB on, and poly paint from texture. There we go. Didn't see much difference there. You probably could have gone up another subdivision level, but I'm happy with that. And so now texture map is turned off. Good. And doop. And your little brush is on. So that means that that's poly paint. Good to go. And we deleted the subdivisions, and the reason we did that is so we can close this hole off here. And close. All right. And so, you know, it made a little bit of a mess there. That's not that big of a deal. We're going to fix all that up here. We're going to turn off, hold down Shift so we can go to our smooth operation here and turn off RGB. We don't want to get rid of any of that color right now. I just want to smooth some of this real quick. And let's zoom in. May want to take that guy out. Let me go select lasso. Get rid of some of those wicked points. Delete hidden. Close all. There we go. Alright. Alright, so let's go in here. Let's see if we can fix this. What we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of move this cavity out, and then we're going to fuse it back together. So just do an inflate, and then I've got this masking, which is under your brush here, and somewhere in here, mask. Just trust me, it's in there, but you change it to topological, and it works just like your move to topological. So now I can just, I don't have to worry about, it's going to make some chaos in here, but I'm okay with that. It's going to be kind of hidden anyways. As long as it doesn't mess up that outside, that's all I care about. Yeah. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Probably not the best way to clean this up, but I think this will work for now. Yeah, we'll just call that good for now. Let's see, I know there's another problem child over here. I'm not really going to fix those little lumps there. Let me see, I think he, right here, doesn't really need to be fixed that much. He's good there. Cool. And maybe just smooth these guys out a little bit. Alright. Good with that. Alright. So go ahead and get your move up, gizmo, and remesh by union. It'll take all the overlap and geometry and fuse it together without destroying the poly paint, which is what we're trying to do here. Okay. And accept. And I'm just going to grab like a corner of it here, Control Shift A, and delete hidden. And then that will take care of any stray islands around the model that we don't want to worry about right now. That'll get rid of that. And I think we're looking pretty good for the next step. And we'll fix that base here in a minute. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and delete undo history just to save my memory a little bit here. Turn it a little bit. There it goes. Wait until that green comes back. Hit Control and click that little mark. As you can see, it changed color. And what we're going to do is a project history. Or not project, yeah, project history. So now I can go to my geometry. I can go to my Dynamesh here. And we're going to just go ahead and keep it at that default. Dynamesh, okay. That smoothed it out for us there quite a bit. Closed any holes that we may have had lingering about there. Control W. I don't want any oddball polygroups right now. So now I want to do a slice curve. Go back to start. And we're just going to separate the shell just a little bit. Right about there. Yeah, that'll be good. And let's get, I'm going to do a slice rectangle. I'm going to get up here, get that little branch, slice him. And what we're doing is we're just creating a couple polygroups to UV map real quick. But first, we'll go ahead and Z-remesh. We're going to keep it at 5 and adaptive and keep groups and Z-remesh. Shouldn't take long at all. It's pretty lightweight. Boom, done. All right, looks like did a decent job there. Yeah, yep. I like it. And so now we can easily go to our plugin, UV Master, keep symmetry, polygroups, unwrap. Has no issues there. And go ahead and flatten so we can take a look. Did a pretty good job there. Laid it out there. Okay, unflatten. All right. There's our front there. Okay, now go back to your subtool, and remember we stored that point in time. So now we could just do turn on mRGB, turn that off, project history. Always yes. Okay. Now we just start divide, project history, divide, project history, divide, project history. Okay, I'm going to do this 2 more times, and I'm going to pause the video here because it may take a few minutes, so give me just a minute. Okay, we got it up to subdivision 6, about 8 million points, and I just continued on the steps that I had already started on there. Looks like there's some spots here that I need to go in and just smooth out real quick, and that's just projection issues. Makes those weird jaggies. We'll just go in there and clean a couple of them up wherever necessary. Maybe there. All right, so now we've got all this poly. Got this high poly. We've got this halfway decent texture on here. So now we are going to use some of that texture information to help drive more detail, because if we turn off the poly paint, you can still see it's kind of faceted, it's kind of low. So we're going to smooth out some of that junk there. Just smooth it down just a little bit, knock it down just a little bit, and then we're going to put some high frequency detail into this model real fast. And it's stupid easy on how you can do it. All right, so let's turn polypaint back on. Go down to your masking, and let's go ahead and where is it? I found it earlier. Why can't I find it now? Mask by color, intensity. Okay. Hit Control H, which hides it. And now go to your standard, and we may dial it down just a little bit. And under stroke, change it to drag rectangle so we have a little more control here. And I am going to turn off the poly paint so you can see what's happening. And as you can see, I'm going to increase that. Now, we are getting all that high frequency detail in the model. Now it's actual geometry. How cool is that? And watch the sides here. Look at that. That is just crazy cool on how quickly you can create, you can modify this and make it a real high-end model with not a whole lot of effort, to be honest, guys. Of course, I say that, and some of you are going to be like, oh, that's tough, you know. And, well, you're new to ZBrush, and I understand that. So, per usual, you got any questions, just hit me up. I'm happy to answer. Or try to help you out the best of my ability. So, it doesn't take us long to get around here. I'm going to kind of stay away from that little blank patch there, because I'm going to show you how to get some more detail into that sucker. Let's see, missing anything up here? All right, a little bit more there. I want to emphasize those cracks a little more. Just make sure I got all the cracks on this side. Yeah. All right, looking good. Now we can turn our poly paint back on. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, delete, undo history. I'm going to clear the mask, delete the history one more time. So now we're going to tackle that little bit down there. But first, what I want to do is control click again. So now we got a new spot for our history there. And what I want to do is find something a little similar. I guess it doesn't really matter. So go to, if you hit B, and if you look at your quick picks, it has all the new brushes in there, and we want to go to extractor, drag, rectangle. Okay. And if you open up alpha, and then you hit G, it's now ready to start scanning. Now it's turned to blue, but go over to your alpha width, and let's change that to 512. The extraction on there, on how wide it is. And so if you come over here, it's now 512 by 512 instead of the 128 by 128, which is a whole lot better. And now we can go in and fix our little spot here. And then come up this way and just go the opposite way there. I mean, you may want to grab some more spots, but for the sake of the tutorial, we're just going to do it like this super fast. And we fixed it. Now, what I didn't do the last time was fix these stupid streaks right here. So if you go to B and you go to Where is it? Extractor. I want extractor. I want history. Doop doop doo. History recall brush. There we go. And just change that to drag rec. And we can change. And we need to increase the intensity to 100%. 100%. That will fix. Oops. Maybe if we mask it here. I haven't quite perfected this technique just yet. All right, let's see. Yeah, that works. So now I can fix this. Fix this. Where it bled over just a little bit. There we go. Cool. Take the mask off. There we go. We fixed our bottom edge there. This is kind of wonky. Just smooth it. And see if we can. Yeah. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I'm good with that. And there you go. You've got yourself a nice high poly model that you can use. So if you wanted, you can export this bad boy out, go back to your Z plugin, go to multi-mesh, multi-map exporter, and activate all these guys here. You don't really need cavity if you don't want it. Export options, go to make sure everything is to the current subdivision level. Same thing with normal, ambient occlusion, and you can see all the settings I got going on here. Mesh export to subdivision 1, and then go ahead, create all maps, and I will put him in demo, and boom. It'll go through the process here. It'll probably take like a minute. It'll get all the info we need to have a game ready asset. Almost there. There we go. Took about a minute, like I said. We're going to import that mesh real quick, and I am going to take it and do FBX and export. I like FBX better because it has a smooth normal built into it that easily find. You can do it with a regular Zbrush OBJ export, but you got to go digging through the preferences to find it. So I just send out a DXF or FBX, sorry. So let's open up Marmoset. And demo. Here is my mesh. Sorry for the file names, I never changed them. Drop them in. There's our model. Okay. Default here. Change the sky to garage. Always has about the best light for me. All right, now let's find our normal right here. Plop him in. Boom. You can see how much info we got just off of that. And it's only about 7,000 points, which is pretty awesome. All right, let's go ahead, albedo. And we'll set up occlusion. We'll drop in, here's our ambient occlusion. Boom. That is all we really need right now. And now we'll go ahead and take the roughness up. Doesn't need to be that bad. Doesn't need to be that shiny. If you want, you can always take it in a Substance Painter and add a nice little roughness map to it, but I ain't worried about that right now. Let's go ahead and do sky. I'm gonna add a little light here. Click on skylight, boom. We're going to change that to spot. Turn that. And grab him. Change spot angle. Brightness. Width. Soften those shadows. There we go. And let's go to renderer. We'll do local. Set that to high. Let me go to my ambient occlusion first. Crank that up. Occlusion detail, enable GI. Show voxel. Voxel size fit. There we go. Tessellate that. And there you go. Nice little presentation of your 3D scanned item that took you really not a whole lot of time to generate. So you can do large trees, rocks, a whole bunch of things. I've done a whole bunch of stuff with this already, and it's addictive. It really is. The only thing I can tell you is make sure you do it on a cloudy day so you don't get any sharp shadows. That's going to help you out so much. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I'll have the file available for you on Gumroad or QBrush that you can play with and test it out and get you guys prepared to go out and do your own. And I hope you have fun with this app. You guys have an awesome day. Stay safe out there, and we will catch you in the next video.